You're listening to Unmuted with Papamutes.
First of all, Ron Honesty, the president, it was a perfect banquet. It really was. The only bad part of it was I think I gained some weight from that trip because every time there was a pre-dinner, it was a dinner on Thursday and the banquet on Friday. And they just kept shoveling the food, and it was unbelievably good, right? And I met all of us when we came back said, man, we ate way too much. It was a great event. And I happened to meet, we're the day before the banquet. We're in a room, maybe about less than 100 people, I think. So I'm sitting there, and one of the people that I'm friends with, we were there a lot, Ray Mancini, great Ray Mancini, Hall of Fame boxer, 10 times greater person, and an inspiration in my life. But anyway, we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, Ron Honesty was talking about some of the dignitaries who were there. He mentions Ray. Priscilla Presley was getting an award, the Tommy Lasorda Award. Then he mentioned two guys, Tony Orlando, from Tony Orlando and Dawn. Now, he's not Italian, but he was there for a veterans event. So I saw him, and there he was, right? So about 10 minutes later, we kind of connected. I said, I got to go say hello to Tony Orlando, right? Unbelievably nice. I cannot tell you how nice he was, okay? And he started talking about my parents, started talking about Italy, started talking about all kind of things, right? And I told him, yes, I enjoy your music since I was a little kid. But after meeting you these past 15 minutes, I think the world of you even more. What a great guy he was with everybody. Then the past couple weeks, a guy named Sean Stellato, who's an agent for the New York Giants quarterback, Tommy DeVito. He's been all over. Yeah. And I think some unnecessary memes and some unnecessary comments were placed on both of them, but especially Sean. But met him, and we've been in contact, and I talked to him, and I told him how impressed I was with him as a person. I saw how he interacted with everybody. I appreciated the pride he had in his Italian heritage. I also appreciated how hard he works because he was inducted into the Hall of Fame that weekend, and how he was constantly on the phone, working, taking time to take pictures, signing autographs, talking to people, gave a fantastic speech, and still working. And I admired that. But so it isn't that you have to be a name or famous or rich. No, what kind of person are you? But anyway, so then this was before the banquet. Then I'm sitting there in the banquet, and I see this beautiful statue of Rocky Marciano that's there, and a picture of Mancini, and then all these people who were involved with the Italian Hall of Fame. And to have my name, on the screen there, I got emotional. Nice. And I know for a fact that my parents, even though they both have passed years ago, they see this event, they're there with me, and I got emotional because I know that they're getting a kick out of this. And I was so honored to be invited to go there. I had a great time with Tony Ferraro, who's one of the higher ups in the Italian Hall of Fame, and Mark Mackey. And as I said, we spent a lot of time with Ray and everybody else. And Missy Bertiotti from Pittsburgh was a golfer, one of the inductees. She's a great girl. And just one of the things I like to do sometimes is I like to stand back away from myself and look at everything and soak it in. And again, I'm still that 8-year-old kid. And I said, wow, what am I doing here with these guys, And so it was just an honor and just a fun time. And I thank God that I was there.
Do you have a favorite Italian athlete? Not to put you on the spot, but.
A favorite. I mean, I mentioned Valvano and Mario Andretti, Vince Ferragamo, Boom Mancini, Vinny Pazienza, Chris Corciani, the NC State point guard for Valvano, Marciano, Graziano. I can go on and on. But, I grew up with hearing Rocky Marciano all the time and Graziano. Lee Mazzilli, that's why I wear number 16 to this day because of Lee.
Wow.
So there's so many. Yeah. I can go on and on. But I know I've missed a ton, but those guys, the guys that have had so much impact in my life, and I've become friends with several of them. And so it's nice.
So if you could reincarnate, I'll pitch it this way. If you can reincarnate into an athlete, who would it be? Whose career would you be like, yeah, I'd love to have that career, hypothetical. Who would you pick?
Well, that's a great question. I've never had that. Never even heard that question. Well, you think the career-wise, the two guys that jump out have to be Rocky Marciano, who never lost, and in my opinion, pound for pound, the greatest boxer of all time. 5'8", 5'9", 188 pounds, right? World champion forever. Mario Andretti is considered the greatest race car driver of all time. And so those two guys, and not to go off in a different thing, but yes, like I mentioned, Greg Norman, obviously one of the greatest golfers of all time, but I appreciate what he did after golf. Magic Johnson, obviously one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Alex Rodriguez, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. But I study those guys every day, what they did after their respective sport. Andretti, extremely successful in business. Vince Ferragamo, extremely successful in business. Boom Mancini. I love talking with him. I just sit back and listen. Unbelievably prepared. He has a movie production company, a cigar company, a bourbon company, a wine company. He speaks. But I listen to him. I've been in meetings with him when he's talking to other businessmen. Unbelievably prepared. I mean, they can ask him any question. He bangs it out. And just, so I try to make sure that I can do that whenever I'm asked any questions. So again, I appreciate what they've done out of the ring or field or court. But, as far as to your question, Marciano and Andretti, who really was better than those two guys?
True. Mine, growing up, I played hockey. Vince Lombardi, right. I played hockey, and, I had the dreams too. And Tony Esposito was the guy I kind of wore his number. And, anyway, I love this mask. When they had masks, they were unique. It wasn't like the cage thing everyone has now. But, anyway. So another hypothetical. In a fight, who would win, Ray Mancini or Steve Mancini?
Steve would win because I think he would just keep talking to Ray, and Ray would say, "The hell with it, I'm getting out of here."
Wow.
Ray would just quit. Ray
would leave. I'm going to segue into something. Hopefully you have a little fun with this. It's called Name That Athlete. Sure. I'm going to give you, if you want to do it, I'm going to give you a nickname. You tell me the athlete. Okay, you up for that?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Who was called, and I'll give you hints. It's either baseball or boxing. I'll tell you that right now.
That's fine.
Who was called Hands of Stone?
Roberto Duran, who Vinny Pazienza, who I love more than anybody, beat him twice.
Who was called the Sultan of SWAT?
Babe Ruth.
Bingo. You already did better than Steve Mancini. Who was called Sweet Pea?
I'm sorry?
Sweet Pea. Who was nicknamed with Sweet Pea? Pernell Whitaker. A little trick question here. Actually, it's not a trick question, but who was called Mr. Baseball?
Bob Uecker.
He actually got the name. Yeah, there you go. Didn't even have to explain it. All right. Now this is two different sports, baseball and boxing. Who was called the Hitman? One in baseball, one in boxing.
Well, in baseball, it was Mike Easler. And in boxing, it was Tommy Hearns.
Yes. Nice. I forgot about Mike Easler as I was putting this together. The Pirates. Anyway, yeah. Huge fan growing up.